I learned how to be alone at a very early age before I even realized why that feeling is always so familiar to me. I was born in America. My dad was already a married man at the time that he met my mother. My mom was a minor, and my mom was barely peaking high school age. And my mom ended up getting pregnant with me. So my dad really wanted to make sure he got, for lack of better terms, rid of a problem. And I was the problem. He won the lottery, and back in the day, $5,000 is a lot of money. And he identified a family in Vietnam. And when my dad sent me to Vietnam, these were not relatives, these were friends. And the situation could have gone really bad. I could have either gotten really hurt or it could have been a decent lifestyle, right? But I didn't just get decent, I got great. I got a really good life in Vietnam for my first 5 years. At 5 years old, I remember seeing this man come to the doors of Vietnam. And in Vietnam, you didn't have a door. It's a wooden, blockage, and the door frame was open. And if it's down, it means the door is closed. And when it's open, welcome in, right? And my dad came in and he said, "You're coming to America." Very quickly that I was introduced to childhood abuse. It wasn't from my father. It was from another friend that he had living in the basement. I was introduced to things that kids shouldn't be introduced to. I was subjected to a lot of things that kids shouldn't be subjected to. And I didn't know what to do because in a third world country like Vietnam, you're taught to be very independent. And I was forced to be very independent in a foreign country like America. And I was taught to not be the problem, right? I was the kid that didn't have a mom whose dad is always working, don't be an issue because a house is already open for you to live here. So that happened for a very long time. And my birth father never really heard me out on what I was saying was going on. It's disgraceful to have those things happen. And it was very, very hard for me to share anything that was going on. So then at 14 years old, I ran away. And when I ran away, I entered the foster care system. I went into juvenile detention center for the first 6 to 8 months, and then sometimes group homes, and then sometimes back into juvenile detention center. I call it the Great Race. So from 18 years old until 21 years old, despite when you've entered foster care, despite how many years you've been in the foster care system or what led you to the foster care system, suddenly the magic age of 18 years old, you are put in this race that you are not ready for, that you don't know the rules of, you have no idea, but everybody's got the same end goal, and that's at 21 years old, you gotta get out. You have to get out. Our nation's children, they instantly bounce out. They don't just bounce from home to home while they're in foster care. They bounce out by the time they reach 18 because it's tiring. It's tiring to constantly fight a fight without having been given a correct referee to say what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is fair. So when a young adult leaves foster care, it's very similar, if not the same, as when a prisoner leaves prison. Do you have money? Do you have a place to go? And if you don't, the best we can do is drop you off at a homeless shelter or get a Greyhound ticket to the closest place you can find yourself at. Most young adults end up either pregnant and having to stay in unsafe relationships because there's nowhere else to go. I definitely was one of those young adults. Some even get incarcerated, many get trafficked, and then others commit suicide. Those are the fatal results of young adults aging out of the foster care system. Each and every one of them can be prevented, 100% prevented. And all they need is just one support system to stand by their side to remind them and teach them and guide them on what it means to be independent, how to do it safely, and how to make wise decisions based off on what the other person's walk of life has gone through. Gilliard & Company is a charitable organization that provides housing for young adults aging out of foster care. We are a statewide provider, so that means all of the young adults transitioning out of foster care from 18 years old to 21 years old, we provide apartments for them right here in the state of Georgia, making Savannah and Pooler their home. One of the things that I really wanted to do was to make sure that we're not band-aiding the situation of foster care. We are providing continuous, lifelong support. And I've identified that the best way to do that is housing, because looking back at my life, if my foster parents didn't step in to help me, where would I be? And with their love and their support, we've been able to establish an organization that mirrors the same family structure that was given to me, with the same support system and services, stable housing, life skills being able to be provided, looking for jobs, looking for employment. We pay for their living expenses. We cover all of their necessities. If they save, we try to do a match savings program. However, ours is very different. Our match program is if you save $1,000, we give $1,000. And then once you have saved up that money, by the time you graduate the program, we give you a check. Because it is also your right to make good or bad decisions. That is your right. So that's what we do. And our young adults, most of the time, outside of, having a celebratory dinner, they end up doing like all the right things, and then it's rare that they make a bad decision out of it. I think the most interesting part about Gilliard and Company is that we believe the unbelievable. We believe that every young adult deserves a chance. We believe that every young adult, no matter how bad their circumstances are, have the opportunity to do great things. We can solve the foster care system one empathetic approach at a time, because empathy heals trauma. It's proven in studies, empathy heals trauma. And when we also provide empathy, at a point when a family is about to reach the risk of their children entering foster care, if we teach empathy, if we acknowledge empathy for this family, instead of casting judgment, and we lean in and we help them, you can actually prevent a young kid's life entering the foster care system that will impact the rest of their life. Empathy, to me, is a solution to foster care.